good evening, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. Excited to have you join us. And actually, this is one of the event that's really have a lot of people sign up for it. And I'm seeing that people's interest in solar and Powerwall are really getting intense. And this is a good thing for New York State, for the sustainable renewable energy and keeping the environment clean. We've got a great team today from Tesla and mostly from the New York State here. And then we're going to be, hopefully we can get a lot of answers for you. And if you have any kind of experience and stuff like that, feel free to share in the blog, in the website. And then so everybody can benefit and learn from that. It's exciting. You know how Tesla is doing quite well with the cars, and now I think solar is going to be another area that Elon wants to push. So having said that, thank you all for joining. I'll turn them over to the Tesla folks.
Thank you to the whole Tesla Owners Club of New York for putting these events together, being such a great group of enthusiastic owners that are clearly sharing the message of Tesla and what we're trying to do here worldwide. So really appreciate all the efforts there. Like Patrick said, I'm joined by a great team of Tesla advisors and specialists. So my name is Kamau, and I oversee our locations in White Plains at Tarrytown Road and the Westchester Mall. I'm joined by Anastasia, who is our customer experience manager in Long Island at our Manhasset location. And then I'm also joined by Justine, who is our permit coordinator up in the Northeast in Connecticut, based out of our New Windsor facility. And then we'll also be having our advisor Parker join in a little bit, and DJ Johnson also join in a little bit to help answer some questions. One thing about the questions, we want to make sure this is super informative for you and a good resource for you. So what we are going to do is we may not get to all of the questions in the chat. There may be some questions that are above our heads. So what we are going to do is compile all of the questions at the end of the call and send that out to everybody on Monday with answers for everything. So if you didn't get your question answered tonight, don't worry. We will make sure to send that out early next week, looking at Monday. Again, thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Stephen, for putting this together. So we really just want to give you, a little bit about Tesla and why we did solar, right? Everyone is used to seeing the vehicles. The vehicles are awesome, but we have a whole nother side of our business that I think a lot of people don't know as much about yet. So a little bit about the agenda today. We're going to go with why Tesla added solar, a little bit of a history lesson there. What are some of the benefits to going solar? Then I'm going to pass it over to Anastasia to go over some of our products. So we have our solar panels versus solar roof. What are some of the pros and cons and benefits, and which one to go with when? I will talk about the Powerwall Plus and the ordering process. I'll go over some obstacles that sometimes get in the way of a smooth process, and Justine is going to close us out with the permitting process to make sure that once you are interested in going solar, that you have as smooth of a process as possible. So why did Tesla add solar? Well, Tesla as a car company started in around 2008 with our first car, the Roadster, and there was two things we were really good at when we made that vehicle. We were really good at storing clean energy with our batteries, and we were really good at consuming clean energy with our vehicle. We made a really compelling vehicle, fun to drive, and looked great, and just happened to have zero emissions, right? And that's what we're going for at Tesla, is that you can change the world without compromising anything. You are not sacrificing the look of your car. You're not sacrificing the performance of your car. You just happen to have a great car that also happens to have no tailpipe. So we were really good at storage and consumption, but we weren't so great at generation. And those three things, generation, storage, and consumption, those are the keys to a sustainable life cycle. So we acquired SolarCity in 2016 because they were really good at generating clean energy with their solar panels. And so we've been able to kind of take this technology to the next level and keep pushing it. I like to think of this as an ecosystem, right? And a lot of us are used to, the Apple ecosystem, where maybe you have an iPhone, a MacBook Pro, iMac, and an iPad that all work seamlessly together. Well, that's what we're going for with Tesla solar panels, solar roof, storage with our Powerwall, and consumption with our vehicles. And that all gets tied together with a Tesla mobile app that allows you to see each different aspect of your solar life, your clean energy life cycle, and also manage and customize it so that it's best for you. So why are some of the reasons that we push solar? What are some of the good reasons to go solar? The number one thing to me is energy independence. We've seen rates go up for electricity on average across the country, almost 55% in the last 25 years. And now year over year, that doesn't seem like a big difference. But when you look back to 1994 to say that you paid almost half of what you pay now is quite interesting. And the nice thing is that these solar systems are warranted for 25 years. So you're guaranteeing for 25 years that your rates are not going up, which to me, I think is just such a no-brainer, you know? But then the next part of that energy independence is the reliability factor, that you don't have to worry about, you know, Con Edison or PSE&G or whichever utility provider having an issue where you are then without power. You know, I live in Brooklyn, which, you know, seems to be the place that never has a blackout, except for I was alive during the blackout of, I think, 96 or something, where like I was in a tent in my backyard, you know, reading video game manuals because I had no electricity, right? Well, if I had solar and if I had Powerwall, that would not have been an issue. I would have still had my Xbox on and I would have been having a great time. But even in those places that don't seem to have blackouts as often as you think, you still have that independence and that reliability of being your own power plant. You have your solar panels or your solar roof, ideally on your house, that's generating clean energy. You have your Powerwall, which is storing that clean energy. And then you have your electric vehicle, which is using that clean energy. But then I think another really great reason to go with solar is cost savings. You know, a lot of people tell me, well, what's the return on investment with solar? And then I ask, well, what's the return on investment by paying your utility? There's no return on investment by paying your utility. You're just simply going to keep paying them. You're at the whim of whenever they want to increase their rates. And so there's literally no return on investment. Whereas with the solar, you get a 10-year loan with our solar systems, either solar panels or the solar roof. And these systems are warranted for 25 years. So in my mind, you pay your loan for 10 years. It may be a little bit higher than what you pay now, but it's just like our vehicles. I like to say that electric vehicles tend to be front loaded in terms of cost, and you see a lot of cost savings on the back end. You know, I'm sure a lot of you on this call may have never been to a Tesla service center yet. I've had so many customers, I've been with Tesla for 5 years. I've had so many customers go their entire lease without seeing a service center. So it's following that path of front loading the cost so that you save on the back end. You can guarantee that for 15 years that you're going to be paying a marginal bill, and hopefully your system lasts long past 25 years. But now the next thing is your property value is also going to go up. On average, we see housing prices increase about 4 to 5% once you've added solar, especially here in New York State, where our housing prices are pretty high, I would say. 4 to 5% of your house is probably more than the whole solar system cost. And so that's a really quick return on investment. If you're worried that, hey, maybe I'm not going to stay there for the full 25 years for me to recoup that cost. Well, you know what? The cost of your solar system is probably less than how much your property value increased by adding that solar panel or solar roof to your house. And then if you're a technology geek like I am, having the Tesla mobile app and being able to see how much energy is coming into my house through solar, and then seeing how much energy goes to the Powerwall into my car, that's just really cool for me, you know? And I wish I could give you a sophisticated thing about that, but like, sometimes you just got to get excited about cool stuff, right? And so for me, the technology of the fact that we can capture energy from the sun, store it in our houses, and then use it in our electric vehicles, it doesn't get much better to me. So I think there's a plethora of great reasons to go solar. Some of them may speak to you more than others. Some people are going to be really into the cost savings. Like I said at the beginning, I'm really into the energy independence. I'm also really into the technology. So again, a lot of great reasons to go solar. So now I'm going to pass it over to Anastasia to talk about in depth a little bit more about some of those products that we offer.
Thank you so much, Kamau. And it's awesome to be on this call with the Tesla Owners Club of New York State. As Kamau mentioned, my name is Anastasia and I oversee our location here in Manhasset, New York. So I hope to meet all of you one day here at our location. But what I notice is when you think of Tesla, most customers and consumers think of just electric vehicles and technology. Not everyone is aware of the other side of our sustainable mission, which are our home energy products and storage. So one of the best parts about these products are the aesthetically pleasing design of both the panels itself and the roof. Here in the field, so here in Manhasset specifically, we are making sure that each and every person walking into the door is aware of our full product lineup, in addition to our mission. So we give them a quick tour of our showroom. Here are our vehicles and here are our home energy products. Where would you like to start? So that's something that we really do introduce, and we want to make sure that every person coming in is not just thinking that we're cool vehicles, because of course we all have that vehicle and we know it's incredible, but we also have another side of the business that just completes our entire mission. So Solar Roof is a product that we're extremely passionate about. I know this is Elon's baby, and we're the pioneers of this product. We're the first to develop everything from the incredible design to the high-tech technology to the safety, and most importantly, the sustainable aspect of Solar Roof. As you can see here, the roof is comprised of tempered glass tiles. All of our showrooms have an actual sample for you to see and touch and get a good idea of the material. Photos just don't do justice for this product itself, so we always like to showcase that. Now with Solar Roof, there will be tiles that I like to call dummy tiles, where there aren't specific cells or wires within the tile itself, which actually helps save on costs. We have solar cells within the tiles that are not needed. So of course, that would increase cost. So as Kamau mentioned before, front loading the cost is where you'd notice, cost initially, but the savings on the back end is truly what we're excited about and what owners are excited about as well. So the weatherproofing materials that lie underneath the shingles, that's something that also for safety and security for that roof. And, even for a new roof now, they had that same material as well. So these are some photos. These are non-rendered. You will not see these on our website. These are real homes that are both in New York, upstate New York, Long Island, in the Hamptons. These are real homes. A lot of our customers do like to see what an actual home looks like and not just a fantasy home on our website. So this is a great depiction of what the roof looks like. It's absolutely beautiful. As you can see, it's stunning. It doesn't scream solar. It's just a very clean, unique design, but also is doing the right thing with sustainable energy. Here's some more. Perfect. So these are just some specs on the Solar Roof itself. Of course, there is a 25-year warranty. Awesome. Perfect. So panels. This is, of course, the other side to our home energy products. So one incredible thing about our solar panels is the aesthetically pleasing design of these panels itself. You can see how low profile and slim the bezel is on the outside. A lot of people are a little bit reluctant to going solar because of the panels, and they feel that it's an eyesore. When they get home from work, they're looking at, big bulky panels that, are about a foot off the roof. That's where Tesla is incredibly different. As you can see in this photo here, it's a super sleek design. In addition to being, the most aesthetically pleasing, it is also the lowest cost solar panels in America. Money back guarantee, huge part. A lot of people think of, oh, there's so much money, but once we actually build out the system for you and we see what the money is and how much it costs versus the savings, it's incredible. And it's something that really puts things in perspective for, people looking to go solar. In addition to the cost savings on that as well, there are a bunch of incentives. The first incentive is there's up to a 26% federal tax credit, which goes against your tax liability at the end of the year, in addition to a $5,000 New York State incentive. Now, PSEG also gives you an incentive for Powerwall. However, that is case by case and it is dependent on your bill and your usage. So that can certainly change. And of course, for our owners here, there is our referral program. Unfortunately, the referral program is no longer valid on our vehicles. However, rest assured, it is valid on our solar products. And what that looks like is it's $500 for solar roof, and it's $300 for solar panels. So similar to how the vehicle had the referral program, whoever's looking into solar would just place the order directly through your referral link, which can be found on your Tesla mobile app, and they can go ahead and secure that as well.
Thank you, Anastasia, for that. So you can see we have two really compelling products for generating clean energy. We have our solar roof, which looks like an ordinary roof from the ground, and you can't even tell that someone has solar. But even our solar panels, we've worked really hard to make sure that they are the best looking solar panels out there. I know I've driven past a lot of houses that have solar panels that are non-Tesla, and you can see the exposed conduit running over the house. You see all the kind of wiring and connection points underneath the panels. It's really, it's not a great look sometimes, and especially with your house, that's probably the single most expensive thing that you've purchased, and you want to make sure it looks good all the time. And so we've put in a lot of effort to making sure that these are the most efficient solar systems that can be bought on the market, as well as being some of the most beautiful. And so our Powerwall is what kind of brings that whole ecosystem back together. So we talked about the generation of clean energy with our panels. You all know plenty about the consumption of clean energy with our vehicles, but this is the storage of clean energy. And the nice thing is that there's so many different ways to use Powerwall. Again, it's customizable to what you want to do with it. So some people will use the Powerwall as emergency backup storage. When there's a storm coming, the system has a feature called Storm Watch, which will actually predict that the storm is coming, and it'll automatically go into a power saving mode so that it has as much energy to be discharged once you lose power. But some people want to be able to do what we call demand shifting, where maybe your rates go up at a certain time in the day. And that way we're able to use energy from the Powerwall when your rates are higher so that you can maximize your savings. And then the nice thing about Powerwall is also it's stackable. So some people, they might get a Powerwall just for the sake of keeping like the refrigerator and those critical appliances online during a blackout. Some people might get Powerwall because they want to, be able to use their jacuzzi. And so you can stack up to 10 of these Powerwalls to essentially cover what your energy needs are. Some people have 2 or 3 Teslas. They may want 2 or 3 Powerwalls to make sure that you can still charge your vehicle when power goes out or anything like that. So one of the greatest things about the Powerwall is the same battery technology that's in your cars, the battery technology that's made us famous, and we're essentially adding that to your house now. And it's just such a better way than going with a generator that's using fossil fuels that has to be maintained every year. This is a nice, sleek look. It sits on the side of your house or in your garage, and it just does the work in the background. So it's a really awesome product. These are just some of the specs for it. So you will see it has an energy capacity of 13.5 kilowatt hours. You might be thinking that's not as much as my car holds, but most of the time you're not using all the energy in your car in a single day. And so this is just about probably for most people enough to recharge their car to wherever they need. But if you're having a blackout, you may not focus on recharging the car and you'll maybe keep those essentials online. So again, customizable to what you want it to do for you. So now you've heard us go on about how great the products are and why it's such a good idea to go with solar. This is what the ordering process looks like. We try to make it as easy as possible, as seamless as possible for you. You really don't even have to leave your living room. Maybe a quick, trip to the garage to take a picture of your panel, your circuit panel. But other than that, you sit on the couch, you drink some wine, and you complete this process. Literally, really quick order. You can place either $250 deposit for the solar roof or a $100 deposit for the solar panels. Both of those are actually refundable, unlike our vehicles. So you actually can get a refund on those up until you've accepted the contract. So once you've placed your order, we ask you to do a virtual home assessment. That's taking that picture of the panel for me. So that way, and your utility bill. So that way we can understand how much energy you use, who your utility provider is, and we can make a system design that is specific to your house rather than an estimate based on what our systems are telling us. So our website will configure an estimate for you, but then once you place the order, we're going to take some more details from you so that we can design a system specific to you. Typically, designing that system will take 2 to 4 weeks. That way we can make sure it's really detailed and accurate. And then you will actually get to see the system design. You can see the updated offset. Maybe we're able to get you a little bit more offset. Maybe it was a little bit less. But that way you're going to be signing off on a contract that is specific to your house and what you are trying to accomplish with your energy needs. Once you've accepted the contract, that is when the deposit is no longer refundable. And that's when we are going to get the ball moving. Permitting is probably going to take about 2 to 4 weeks, but it could go longer, it could be shorter. It all depends on, how quickly we get documents ready and how quickly your town or your province will give us those permits. So once we've got the permits, the installation is actually pretty quick. We schedule you. If you're doing solar panels, it'll probably be done within a day. If you're doing the solar roof, it'll take a few days to complete, but that's a really quick and easy process. And then we're going to make sure that we do all the inspections and have all the certifications done to make sure that that system is safe to operate and is going to be producing the maximum power for you. So really easy process. Again, not going to have to really get up from your couch to do most of this. You can all do it all from your phone, actually, from the Tesla account. So the last thing I wanted to go over, and then Justine is going to take it away, is some of the common obstacles. And I'm actually going to go from the bottom to the top because Justine is our permit coordinator and she's an expert in that. So I want to leave her for that at the end. But sometimes we can run into some obstacles with the utility, in terms of coordinating inspections or building inspections. And I want to give you all these obstacles so that you can be prepared for them, right? If we can be prepared, if we have an idea of what could hold us up, we can get ahead of it really quickly. So sometimes the utility might be an obstacle. Sometimes the customer can be an obstacle, right? We want to make sure that we get documents signed as quickly as possible to make sure we can keep your project moving along. Also, sometimes after we do the system design, we'll find that there may be some obstacles that we need to remove to make sure that you can get the most out of your system and that we will get those permits approved. Sometimes that involves like moving something out of the way of the Powerwall. Maybe it's taking down some shelves, maybe it's making a fire closet or something like that. So that can be an obstacle that we want to get taken care of as quickly as possible to keep your project moving forward. And then last but not least, the permitting process. And so I will let Justine take it away for a brief discussion about what the permitting process looks like.
Thank you, Kamal. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you tonight. As Kamal mentioned, my name is Justine. I am the permit coordinator for the Hudson Valley region of New York State. I just want to give you a quick overview of our permitting process. As Kamal mentioned, we start with the design process, getting some photos from you, some information about your roof. Depending on the product you've selected, that may be a little more specified. If you're going with solar roof, we'll need to do a survey, so we can really customize your system to your particular house. But once we have a design ready for you and you've approved it, we're ready to start our permitting process. Depending on where you live, that process may be a bit more intricate than other locations. So some obstacles we have for permitting, which be, as Kamal mentioned, Powerwall location is a very big consideration in New York State. We have some of the strictest requirements in the country. So our design team and your advisor will work with you so that we can determine the location for the Powerwall that's going to be most convenient for you and also feasible to install. Once that location is settled upon and we've determined any any obligations that need to be done, such as building a room or adding some drywall, something along those lines to bring your location, the Powerwall location, up to compliance, we can move forward with submitting for our permit. You may be required to sign some paperwork. Your advisor will work with you to ensure that everything we need from you is received and we can get your permit submitted. From that part, it's really hands-off for you. We will handle preparing all of the documentation, working with your building inspector. Any comments or issues that are addressed, we will handle. And depending on where you live, typically permits are received within 2 to 4 weeks. Once we have the permit, we will be able to schedule your install. So, quick overview there. Like Mal mentioned, you really don't need to leave your couch. We'll handle everything from start to finish on the permitting side for you.
I personally have seen Justine run all over Connecticut and heard the stories of her going from town to town collecting permits. She is really a wonder. So thank you so much for joining the call for us today, Justine. Super insightful. So that actually concludes our call. So we went through the 3 keys of a solar life cycle or a sustainable lifestyle. And that's generating clean energy through our solar panels and our solar roof, storing clean energy with our Powerwall, and then consuming clean energy, as you know, with all of our vehicles. Unfortunately, our advisors were not able to attend the call, so we have a lot of questions in the chat that we can try and get through now. Because they got stuck in some deliveries. So some more clean energy vehicles on the road, but now we want to get some solar and some Powerwalls into the homes as well. So with that, I will allow Stephen to unmute some people if you want to ask some questions, and we can have a live question and answers.
Perfect. Thank you, Kamau, Anastasia, and Justine. That was really fantastic. I mean, I feel like I know everything about Tesla, and then we do something like this, and I always learn more. I want to make a quick mention. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Harry Birch is on this call. He's our regional organizer for the Finger Lakes region, and he has solar panels, Tesla solar panels, and 2 Powerwalls at his house. And he actually blogged the entire process, which is really cool. Let me just go ahead and put this in the chat. If you're in the Finger Lakes area, maybe Harry will invite you to come over, check out the house. I don't want to put that on you, Harry, but I'm sure he would love to show you and give you for you to check it out in person. So you should be able to see that I just put a link in the chat. That is to the part 1. There are 4 parts total on our site. I believe it's 4 parts that Harry put together. So you could check through them all and just see his process as a member, as a Tesla owner, and as a club leader. It'd be really cool to learn more about that from the owner experience. But as Kamau said, we have some time here. So if you don't want to put the questions in the chat and you want to ask aloud, there's a raise hand icon. It should be towards the bottom of your screen. I think it might say actions or reactions or something along those lines, or 3 dots. And you can raise your hand, and it just makes it easy for me to just know who wants to talk and just keep everything orderly. So when that happens, I'll be able to see that happen. Okay, so it looks like Justine raised hand. Perfect. So you can go ahead and unmute your microphone and ask away.
Thank you. I'm wondering if did the solar panels have to be Tesla in order to pair with the Powerwall? Can you do the Powerwall with non-Tesla panels if that's the situation you're in?
That is a great question, Justine. So we do have compatibility with other solar panels. However, right now, we currently don't sell the Powerwall separate from a solar system just due to battery constraints. So at some point, we will be producing a lot more battery cells where we will be able to, again, offer Powerwall to non-Tesla solar customers. We did initially offer Powerwall to non-solar customers, but as the demand picked up, that was just a decision we had to make. But I do look forward to shortly, probably in the near future, again, offering Powerwalls to non-Tesla solar customers.
Thank you.
Also, just want to remind everyone, it looks like there's some questions that are being directed just to me. Make sure that when you're putting them in there, it will say to, and I believe you want to make it sure, to everyone in meeting. But there is a question I could ask this out loud. Does the building inspector inspect the whole house or just the insulation part?
So typically, once we're done with our installation, we have an electrical inspection, which relates only to your installation. And then for your final building inspection, the building inspector will look at our installation, but depending on your jurisdiction, your inspector may want to look at the smoke and heat detectors in your home and may just give a brief overview of your home to ensure that there's no jarring safety issues. It will depend on your particular jurisdiction and the inspector.
We have a question from Brian Swells. Go ahead and unmute.
Hey, good evening, everybody. So I recently, I'm in the Newburgh area in Orange County, and I recently had a power outage. I guess it was due to the ice storm. And that was just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me, as far as like being on the fence with the solar aspect of Tesla. But I wanted to know, because it seems like at least all of the information that I've heard tonight and what's on the website, it's kind of like, I guess, a cleaner alternative, like the gentleman said, to like a generator. But have you seen cases where homeowners are trying to use it for like a complete alternative to like their energy company? I would love to not have to pay Central Hudson anymore and completely use the sun, but I don't know if it's like realistic, or is this something that requires like a bigger system? Because when I type in my information, the system that kicks back from the website, it's I guess it's based on like the square footage of my house, but obviously it's not taking in like the other details, maybe as far as like my vehicle or the different appliances and stuff that's there. So do you have instances where customers are using it for like 100% alternative energy?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes what it can be is sometimes there are ways to mitigate how much electricity you're using so that you can get a higher offset. But there's also certain things that our design teams can do, like, for example, suggest cutting down a tree or something like that to gain you even more offset. My personal example, I have solar panels with Tesla, and when I initially did the estimate online, they had projected about a 65% offset for me. However, once they actually completed the actual system design after me placing the order, I was able to get up to a 75% offset. Now, I've had actually plenty of customers come in and get 100% offset or even higher than that. Sometimes people are getting 125%, especially if you're going with the solar roof, because the solar roof does allow us more flexibility into where we put those tiles, which can get us that little bit more offset. So there's definitely ways to get you to 100%. Unfortunately, you will still be paying at least a connection fee with Central Hudson, because as of right now, you do still need to remain connected to the grid, even if you really aren't pulling any energy. And that's just to make sure, number one, if you have excess solar energy that you're generating, you can send that back to the grid. But God forbid anything happens with your solar system, you're still connected to the grid to receive that power as well.
Thank you.
Looks like we have a question or something from Harry. You might want to talk about his system. Go ahead and unmute Harry.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to mention, I saw a question there about insurance, and I would definitely recommend you talk to your insurance agent or the insurance company. We did do that. It actually increases the assessed value of your home by what the insurance company will assess you for. So you want to make sure that if something happens to the home, that the solar system is covered. So yes, our insurance rate did go up slightly. So did the assessed value of the home, what the insurance assessed value. And just as a side note, we're getting a new assessment this year, so it'll be interesting to see if they bump up the assessment on our house because of the solar panels.
I just went ahead and put a comment in the chat section. Harry is leading an event this Saturday in the Finger Lakes region. They're actually going to be showing off a Tesla Model Y police vehicle for the town of Perry. It's town of Perry, right, Harry? Town of Perry or Village of Perry? Yeah, so that's really cool. So if you're out in the Finger Lakes area, even if you're not, even if you're in Long Island and you want to take a 10-hour drive or 8-hour drive or whatever it is, by all means, go ahead and head on over to the Finger Lakes.
I have to say, as Tesla owners, I think we like to drive a little bit more than the typical person does. So I am down for that trip.
Just as a note that this is the first Tesla police car in Western New York.
Once again, if you want to ask any questions aloud, by all means, there should be I think it depends on the device you're on, but it might be 3 dots and it will say raise hand. And then that way, I think it'll pop up to the top and I'll be able to see that you want to ask a question.
And again,
there was a question there. There was a question. There was a question earlier in the chat that I just wanted to ask. Maybe Justine can help answer about getting correct permitting and allowing the boroughs, so Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, other places within Queens to allow us to start doing solar. If there's a timeline on that.
At this moment, I do not believe we're doing residential installations within the 5 boroughs. I am not sure if there's a time frame to opening that up with the Department of Buildings.
My understanding is that part of the holdup there is that New York will not allow us to install our power walls within the 5 boroughs. And so Tesla has stated that until we are allowed to sell our power walls within the 5 boroughs, that's when our solar systems will come as well. So that might be that might take some hand wringing from your local congressman.
Kamau, I actually have a question if you could answer this. So I'm a recent homeowner, sunk a lot of my capital. Thank you. Yeah, sunk a lot of capital into this place, but I'd really love to have solar or energy. So does Tesla offer financing?
Yes, so we offer 10-year financing on both the solar panels and the solar roof. So it's really nice, a lot longer loans than the cars. So, and with a 10-year loan, you can really start to see that monthly price come in line with your current electric bill.
Very cool. And then I think there was something I saw a couple other states, and I don't know if we do it in New York yet, but leasing. I think you could lease the panels. Is that correct?
So we used to offer what was called a power purchase program, or essentially leasing the solar panels. We stopped doing that now. My belief why we stopped doing that is because I think for the end user as a customer, you really get the most benefit out of owning the panels because you get access to those federal tax credits and those local incentives, which you didn't if you were leasing the system, as well as it increases your home value too, which if you don't own the system, it's hard to then sell your house when they may have to take the system off. So I think there was a lot of complexities that were added with the leasing program that we decided we wanted to simplify the business. And that kind of speaks to another question that was asked in the chat about us installing solar on condos and apartment buildings. I think at some point that will come because we do have the technology to be able to pitch those roofs to put solar on it, but I think it is a much more complex scenario that we are focusing our resources on residential homeowners.
I guess maybe while some questions are building up, I just want to give a quick thank you to all of the members for joining tonight. Really appreciate you. It'd be kind of awkward if it was just us talking here without you all here. So thank you for coming. Obviously Tesla, thank you too for all of you hopping on and making this a great presentation that it was. A big thank you to all of our paid members too. Thank you for supporting the club consistently and keeping us up and running and alive. We cannot do it without you. If you're not a paid member, check it out. We have 2 different membership levels, different perks for each one. So little break there, but just once again, if you have any questions you want to ask aloud, you can do so. There's a raise hand icon, or you're more than welcome to ask in the chat. And then as a reminder too, this, Kamau, you said you'll have all the questions from the chat put into a document or an email of sorts, and we can send it out to all the participants, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And I did see a comment that someone wanted to speak to a project advisor. It's probably not going to be a project advisor that we can get you tonight, but we can definitely help you along the way. So if anyone that is in the process of ordering solar panels or solar roof that does have some questions, if you can message me privately with your energy reservation number, it starts with EN, I would be happy to have someone follow up with you in the next day or two. As we are all here, for the most part, we all got into Tesla because of the vehicles. So our vehicles kind of operation and department is a much bigger department right now than our energy department is. So we do have a small but mighty team. That might be why some of the delays and responses. Justine is literally running around all over Connecticut to these different town and board meetings to get these permits done. So what I do urge you to do is to stop by your local Tesla or to stop in the showroom. Even if we don't have the exact answer for you, we can get you in touch with someone or we can ask those questions for you. That way we can be that kind of middle ground for you while you're waiting for an answer. We did have a lady stop by our Terrytown showroom the other day where she wasn't able to get in touch with her project advisor, but I did see the notes in her profile and was able to relay the information for her. So I do appreciate you all sticking with our small but mighty team, but absolutely come to the stores and call the stores and ask for an advisor to help you get in touch with the project advisor.
Kamau, there's actually one question here I just want to ask this from the chat. And I think it's a good question just for Tesla to consider too. Will there be Tesla vehicle webinars? I guess kind of a big view at the vehicles in the same way that we looked at energy today. Is that anything that might be planned?
Could you say that?
I don't see why not.
Hi, Stephen. I could also help with that. We do like vehicle seminars for new owners. So people that are soon to be taking delivery, we want to make sure that they're fully acclimated and comfortable with the vehicle before they take delivery, because the delivery is rather quick. And more of like an express delivery. We want to make sure that everyone is fully comfortable because, you know, it is definitely very different than a traditional vehicle, as we all know. So we do want to make sure that comfort level is up to speed. So a lot of our delivery locations, specifically also in Smithtown, do host almost like a educational seminar on vehicles prior for new owners and people taking delivery.
And I guess in support of that too, once a month we host an Ask Us Anything. So that's really a big open format. And it could be about energy, which is today, obviously this is great that we had Tesla on here because I would not be able to answer most of these questions that you've all been asking. But it's, you know, if you have any questions about the vehicles, about the charging, about the network overall, potentially costs, all of these different things, you can hop on that. And that is, we do one of those pretty much once every month. We'll have an Ask Us Anything. But I think with that said, once again, Tesla, thank you, Kamau and Justine and everyone. Thank you so much for attending. And Anastasia, thank you. Really appreciate it. And I hope we can do another one of these soon. I think this went over really well. And once again, appreciate all the members for joining and making this the great event that it was.
And thank you all just for helping us transition the world to sustainable energy, right? You all are vehicle owners or soon to be vehicle owners, and we just want to complete the whole ecosystem for you all. So thank you all again for all of your support of Tesla. You know, we wouldn't be here without you.
I just wanted to address that. First of all, appreciate the Tesla team for their participation. And also too, like Stephen mentioned, that we have the Ask Us Anything webinar. And this is really opportunity for, you know, Tesla owner, supporting Tesla owners or any of the people that consider to be buying a Tesla. So if you know friends that want to, you know, buy a Tesla and just have a lot of questions and want to see what owners think the cars that they have and the good and the bad and the indifference, this is kind of webinar that we do that just for that purpose. So if you have been a long time Tesla owners, join this kind of webinar and have to contribute with your own personal experience with the ownership of Tesla vehicles. And then obviously with new owners, then you can always come in and, ask us any questions about, what happened here, how to do it there. We all have experience and we have a little bit of maybe tips and insight about what happened in the car and what to do and so on and so forth. this is why we have the club here. We are here to help Tesla owners to support Tesla owners. So feel free to keep your eyes open for this kind of webinar. Invite your friends. Feel free to participate yourself. And this is how this club, what we are here for.
I just want to say once again, thank you everyone for attending, and have a great rest of your night, and God bless.